assignment. Going into, back to the agenda, budget amendments. You got your budget amendment packet. Lawyers, everybody has their budget amendment packet. First budget amendment, the county mayor's office, he's decreasing the fund balance and he is increasing the expenses for $328,952. This is basically, as we've already approved the 2 ambulances, and as the mayor reported earlier, the ambulances are already here. We have a motion from Commissioner Slater. We have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. There you have the supporting documentation, and all is good on that. And there's the resolution. Mayor, I assume they don't have any more ambulances they want to sell. All right.
We're looking at that possibility after we've had these for a few days.
Page 6, Bradley County Mayor's Office, $231.01. He's decreasing the expenses and he's basically moving in the same account from one line to another. Communications to tuition, $231.01. Do I have a motion to accept? I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. Have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Oh, Mayor Davis.
I just want to go back to the first one and point out, in case someone was listening and not realizing what was happening, the motion was to decrease the fund balance of the ARP fund, which is where all the money's at, until you've now put it in an expense line to spend. I do not ever want the headline to say the mayor proposed reducing the fund balance of general fund, but that is the ARP fund.
Yeah, this is a 126.
The 128 fund.
128, I'm sorry, yeah. We're going to talk about fund balances here real quick. All right, so I have a motion, I have a second on this amendment, page 6. Any right?
Yes.
All right. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Next, Finance Department. She is decreasing the fund balance in 128, so this is also ARP money, $400,551, and it's going into an expense line. This is to pay for the Southeast Tennessee District, the contract that they are administering on our behalf. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Mayor Davis?
This is just housekeeping. You all approved this back when we first started, but with the new budget, it didn't get budgeted, so it didn't become part of the budget. So it went back in the ARP fund balance, and now you're bringing it out like you'd already done.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Passes 5-0. Next budget amendment, page 8, Human Resources. She's decreasing expense and it's staying in the same account. She's going from 210 to 435 for $1,595. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Commissioner Winters. Is that a question or you're seconding?
Both.
That's what I figured. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Commissioner Slater, you're recognized.
What kind of filing cabinet is this for $1,595? Does it keep dead bodies cold or something?
No, this is the big lateral file cabinets. They're 5-drawer and they've got the flip thing. Retail price on it's $29.50.
Okay.
And we're getting it for cheap.
Okay. Just checking.
I know they're expensive, and we've not bought one in a long time.
Yeah, that's fine. I just
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Excuse me. Next budget amendment, page 9, from the Sessions Court. He's decreasing, and by the way, just FYI, we did send a communication or a memo to the Honorable Clay Collins on the proper way to fill out the amendment. Anyway, 'cause I don't like pencils or handwriting. $100 is coming from one line to another for his conference tuition. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Next budget amendment, page 10, coming from EMS, $150. He's moving it within his account from 329 to 463. Just FYI, this is testing, random testing that he has to do on his employees periodically. I have a motion to accept the amendment from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Mason. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. Page 11, also EMS, $24,773.41. He's moving money from uniforms over to 719 office equipment. This is to purchase laptops, and these laptops apparently made of gold. I have a motion from Commissioner Winters. I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there's the supporting documentation. Excuse me. Then we get in on to page 14. Amendment from the fire department. He is increasing his revenue and he's increasing his expenses, so it's money coming in, $561.01. This is an insurance check from recovery. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. And there's the supporting documentation. And there's the check. Page 17. Also from the fire department, $250 insurance recovery, increasing his revenue, increasing his expenses. Do I have a motion to accept the amendment as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there's the supporting check. Again, with the fire department, increase in revenue, increase expenses for $10, copy fees. I have a motion from Commissioner Slater. I have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes 5-0. And there's a lot of supporting documentation for $10. Next one is, I'd like to take all these as a package deal all the way from page.
Yeah, the first
Is this,
2. 42.
I don't,
This was just the recording stuff. This is just,
yeah.
I know.
In other words, this amendment is, and it's all its supporting documentation goes to page 42. Right. That's what we're going to do all together. When I say all together, usually you're referring to services rendered, but I had a paperclip there.
2 to
Do I have a
4.
motion to accept the amendment as presented? $46,000 is increase in revenue, increase in. Is this a mistake on here? Increase in revenue and increase in revenue.
40
On page, on
22
page
to-
22,
till 40. How far does it go?
page 42.
42.
Right. So where it says, revenue, on this, where they itemize the lines, deputy, social security, state retirement, travel, law enforcement, equipment,
Right.
that should say expense. Cassandra won't ever do that again. Got it? All right. We have a motion from Commissioner Slater, have a second from Commissioner Alford. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, passes 5-0.
Mylan,
Yes.
page 43 through page 50 are all, where they paid for these other counties paid for the tuition, so you could do those together.
All right, we'll take pages 43 all the way to page 50, all those amendments as a package. Wait a minute. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Services amendment, we have a motion from Commissioner Alford, we have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, I'm sorry, yeah, opposed say no. It passes 5-0.
And then the next batch, page 51 through page 90 are all services rendered.
All services rendered.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
page, all the way to page 90,
What a lot of services rendered.
well, page 91, right?
That's a lot of work right there.
No, 91 is.
The local government insurance pool,
Yeah, that one's different.
Whoa.
That one's not part of this.
Yeah.
but there's no amendment to it. What is,
No, I'm going to ask you to pay for it out of your line. It's a general.
so we need to talk about that later, okay.
Yes.
All right, pages 51 through 90, these are the services rendered from the Bradley County Sheriff's Office. Do I have a motion to accept the amendments as presented? I have a motion from Commissioner Alford, I have a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, passes 5-0. That takes us to page 91.
Yes.
What you got?
This is a general lawsuit that was filed. The person filed it against every county It's a class action. He said his rights were violated, the warrants procedures were not done correctly. So this is not really one that is just the sheriff's, this is a general one. So I'm asking, can we just pay it straight from your $599 line?
This is
Instead of
the,
moving it.
this is the deductible,
This is the deductible, yes.
529.8, I mean,
Maybe
okay, that's good, I don't wanna argue.
Preparation account.
But wouldn't you need an amendment to move the money from,
I'm not moving it, I'm just asking for your
oh,
permission
you just,
to pay
you're,
for it.
you already have money in the line, okay. So we just need permission to pay the deductible on this lawsuit. We have a motion from Commissioner Slater. We have a second from Commissioner Winters. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no, passes 5-0. So you can pay this deductible. Next on page 92, this is the wake-up call that it's that time of the year. This is the budget calendar for the 23-24 budget. So we'll take a look at this, and we'll vote on it in the first Monday of February. So this gives you a few weeks to look it over. It's pretty standard. I think when I looked at it, it's pretty much following the template that we had before. Maybe one or two things we need to change, but it's maybe on the times. But this is your second homework assignment for our February. So Lori, if you would put that as an agenda item to vote on the budget calendar for the 23-24 budget, I'd appreciate it. And that concludes the budget amendments, unless anyone has anything. Nope. All right. Going back to our agenda, gasoline report. As you remember, when we passed the budget, gas was tinkering around, what, $4-something a gallon, stuff like that. So we put extra money in all the lines, all the accounts that have gasoline. We've been keeping track of it. Gas is fluctuating, but then you hear on the nightly news that may be going back up, so who knows. But we're just keeping track, and this gives you those numbers as Lori's been keeping track of it on a quarterly basis. So take a look at that and see if it makes any sense to you. If not, we'll talk about it. But I wanted to stay consistent with our report. Chairman Cry, you're recognized.
I'm not questioning the numbers. On the departments, I can identify with all of them. I know the mayor has a vehicle, and I know the mayor's assistant has a vehicle, but I don't see a line item there for them.
Mayor, how do you get
That's a
gas?
question to me. My gas is paid out of the travel line, I believe. I believe that's correct. You know, I had to think right quick, but I think that's correct. Yeah, EMA.
Just paid out of
Are you even,
What was the question? I'm sorry, I didn't know how to.
your assistant. Where is
His vehicle and his gas comes from EMA.
and
Part of his job description is PIO for the EMA.
yours comes out of travel?
I'm 99% sure that's right, yeah. I'd have to look at my budget, but I'm pretty sure that's right, yeah.
But
Thank you very much.
I'm assuming, I'm sorry, Chairman Craig, go ahead. All right, so take a look at this report, study it. It's gonna become, important as we get into the budget, and the budget request.
Ask a question.
Please, Commissioner Runners.
Medical examiner expended all of those funds. What do we,
That's why these are kind of misleading. More than likely, they have PO'd the, now, the auditor's encouraging you to use money out of the right line, and they're saying do early POs, which I don't agree with, but that's what she has done on that.
that would be your average monthly expenses. that she-
What she's done is more than likely, she's got a $1,800 gas line, and she's PO'd it all.
So she's basically prepaid all hers.
It gets spent as
And
draw down from that
Sheriff does the
PO,
same
but
thing. Like I said, this will come into play more with the budget request.
yeah. And some of them, you know, that buy in bulk, it's a little misleading because they may have just bought a so many 1,000-gallon tank load of gas, or they may need to do it next week, so that report would change too. on gas. It's hard to track gasoline.
It is, and
Uh,
poor Lori's been
Yeah,
trying to do her best she can, but the reason why I've asked for it is one, because it was an abnormal cost that we normally didn't see. And, you know, when we have to look at the budget and we have to look for places to cut or, you know, reevaluate, this is going to be one of those where we need to, if the fuel prices are lower, but they also have to be lower and consistent. Nobody here has the crystal ball. And we don't know what the Fed's going to do. So it really is just for our information to a certain degree to make better decisions, right? All right. If there's nothing other, we'll go to the next item on the budget. I'm sorry, yeah, on the agenda. As you know, the audit came out, last Thursday or something like that? And the audit committee will take up most of it, but the part that I wanted to go over real quick are the fund balance numbers. When you look at these, when you look at your audit, I put in here the pages that you need to go to, and you see when we passed the budget, we had an idea, we had a projection of what the fund balance would be at the beginning of the budget, the current budget we're in right now. So what we do is we obviously take the fund balance, and then we put in what we think we're going to get for revenue, add the two together, and that's pretty much your total revenue that you can use during the year minus your policy on fund balance requirement. So real quick, we'll go through these, and again, remember there was a projection, and we could have moved money out of the fund balance during the year, like we just did for the art money, that would answer or talk about the differences here. So with that, general fund, we projected 12 million, and the actual was 14, a difference of 1.7. The library was a projection of 188. The actual came in at 193, 193,000. 116, which is solid waste sanitation landfill. Projection was 1.9 million, and actual was 1.6. So that's the only one of those that decreased. Again, these were projections against the actual. Fire, remember we have two funds basically for fire, but we consolidate into one. That's why you see the two funds in there, but in the budget, but in the audit, you only see fire, 1,039,000, and the actual is 1.4, so 427,000. Drug fund, which we don't really mess with too much, that's the sheriff's over there, but it's in the audit, and it was almost dead on. It was a difference of $970. Agriculture, that's what they call it, 124. We projected a fund balance beginning of 144, and the actual, according to the audit, was 190 and some change for a difference of 46,000. Road department, 1,004,000, and it came in at, with the audit at 2.5 and some change for a difference of about 1.1. At schools, and they projected theirs at the beginning of the budget at 7 million, and the audit came in at 13 for a difference of 6. But again, remember, we've done fund balance amendments since then, so that taps into that right there. So that what you should do is, if you have your budget books, is go back and put these actuals in there, and then let it cascade through your budget. All right.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on that? And I just heard from Commissioner Slater that my numbers are correct. She checked it. That's good. All right. I think we did good.
Good.
Our next meeting will be, Lori, help me. Get the trustee dusty out. February 6th. Finance Committee at 11:30. We'll get back to our regular scheduled program. If there's nothing else,